Good Sunday morning to everybody. Welcome to the beginning of another week. Unless you're in Australia, good Monday morning and you're late to work, so why are you watching this? Great week going on here. First off, let's just talk about what's going to be playing in the background here. Listen to that. All right. This came from Andrew from Tales from the Crate, and he showed this group. And it's Endless Boogie and Vibe Killer. And he dropped the needle on that. And it just blew me away. So I went on and put it on my wish list on Amazon. I had to pick up a few things this week so that I have to have this. And so, I bought it. Amazon, it's one of those where they load it to your phone, which is really nice. It's in your Amazon Music. And to me, this is the kind of album you put it on your car. You go out there, put it on your car, you put on a pair of dark sunglasses. Then you start to drive, and you just start doing this as you go. And you come up to a stoplight, and you're doing this. And you look across, there's the other guy. You roll down your window, and you just go, dude, I am so much cooler than you. So much cooler than you. And away you go. It's, they call it Kraut Southern Rock. And to me, it's like it's the one chord riff rock. Now, Endless Boogie, it's named after Johnny Lee Hooker, and Andrew talks some about this group, and it's named after Johnny Lee Hooker's song, and Johnny Lee always had that riff, and it's like a one chord riff, and I thought O.R.L. Burnside, he had this one chord riff. Well, this group was formed, it was some Matador record employees and a record collector, and they formed the group in 1997, Boogie Chillin'. And, the name of this album is Vibe Killer. And right now, the members of this band, you get a better look at that, is Paul Major, Jasper Ecklo, Mark Razzo, Harry Drews, I don't know how to say that name. All those members, three of the four members only have 5 letters in their last name. One guy, Mark Razzo, has 4 letters. Can you be in this group if you have 6 letters in your name? Maybe they want to keep things really simple, but this is an incredible listen. I mean, I really just kept going on to Amber. I mean, as I was traveling this week, I kept playing this, and I kept doing groove, baby. It's all about the groove, so enjoy that. Now, since I actually am playing vinyl, that means I got only 20 minutes to talk today, so let's get into it. All right, another recent purchase, thanks to Vinyl Community. I've seen it out there a million times. It was the Chris Bell, I Am Cosmos. I don't need to talk a lot about it. From Big Star, Chris Bell, born 51, died in 78, I believe, car accident. And Jeff Kempen was showing this, and I just go, I asked, he goes, if you're a fan of Big Star, and I said, Jeff, is it really good? I wrote to him, and basically, he didn't say it this way, but it's like, Steve, what the hell are you waiting on? Just buy the damn thing. So I did, and when you listen to this, really, it's like, this was Big Star. And, he was part of that first album with Alex Chilton, but then he left and Alex Chilton kept the name. Thus, Chilton's become synonymous with Big Star. But when you listen to this is the album that never got put out by him. You go, damn, that's Big Star. And though he had a lot of issues with depression and alcoholism, he was more grounded than Alex Chilton. Alex Chilton was just different. That guy was a party boy. Oh my goodness, even when he was young, wow, party. And Chris Bell was much more grounded, much more focused on this, and the music was so much to him, which absolutely brought him to depression when Big Star didn't sell. So 2 of the albums I got this week, thanks to Vinyl Community. Andrew, Tales from the Big Crate. I forgot to mention his channel, though everyone's on it. Tales from the Big Crate mentioned Endless Boogie, Killer Vibe. By far my favorite album of this year. I think it was made last year though. And then Chris Bell, I Am the Cosmos, which is great. So let's get into some stuff, all right? First, we're going to start here with the Velvet Underground, and this is VU. This came out in 1984. Really, this was songs that would have been on the Velvet Underground's fourth album, Songbird. The album that never happened. Now, a lot of the songs Lou Reed has put onto his solo works, but they never had the sound of this with the Velvet Underground, with that whole band, with, you know, Sterling Morris and, you know, Tucker there, Maureen Tucker. Yeah, a couple standouts. He does Stephanie Says, he does Lisa Says. So there's a lot of women that had stuff, I guess, to say or whatever, but they're both beautiful, quiet songs. Excuse me. Another one's Ocean. Really, this is the soft side of the Velvet Underground. But then he has a rocker like, you know, I Can't Stand It. And, you know, it leads off the album. And I Can't Stand It would have sounded just perfect on any of the other Velvet. You know, it's just this hard driving, you know, a little more fuzzy guitar going on. Just a great riff. I've had this in a cassette tape, you know, one of my many billions of pirated cassette tapes from the 80s, and finally saw it on vinyl and really wanted it because when I listened to this, it really kind of blew me away. So I was happy to find it. The unreleased recordings, so they've all been released many times now. The Velvet Underground VU. Wonderful. Found this. This is a little promo copy. This is the Waterboys' first album here. And this came out in 1984, and the Waterboys, they started in 1983. Now, most of you know about the Waterboys. You know, it was Mike Scott and Carl Wallinger were two of the early members of it. You know, Carl left after a couple of albums, and he went on to form World Party, and Goodbye Jumbo is still one of my all-time favorite albums, Evidence CD, that I've ever, you know, listened to. Pure pop. But this one here, you know, the Waterboys, the lyric for the name the Waterboys, it came from a Lou Reed song. Yeah, I know, we just talked about Lou Reed. Look at that, funny how these things pop in together. Lou Reed song on Berlin had a song called The Kid, and in there he talked about the Waterboys. And Mike Scott heard that, liked it, and decided to name his group after that. So that's where the name the Waterboys came from on there. Some folks described it as big music. That's what it was called, big music. Kind of oblique, isn't that? What is big music? And what Mike Scott said, it was a metaphor for God. For God? Oh man. For God's signature on the world. That's what he said. It was a metaphor for God's signature on the world. Okay, big music. You know, really the early Waterboys was a mix between U2 and Van Morrison. I think that's the best way to describe early Waterboys. And then they got into the folk roots, but otherwise like U2 and Van Morrison put together. Great album. It's the first one. Really delighted to have it because that early Waterboys is really nice. All right, Wind and Fleece. Weed Fleece. Weed Fleece from Van Morrison. This is my third one. Just a quick story on this because I've talked about it before. You know, I'd spent many years trying to find this album. This was on my list. I 6, 7, 8 years trying to find it. I could never locate it. Earlier this year, I'm in Charleston, West Virginia. I go to one record store. There it is. There's a beat-up copy, but I bought it because I've been looking forever. I go to another record store in Charleston, West Virginia. Folks, they only have 3 record stores. There it was again. Oh, wow. It was a better copy, so I bought that one. So I got 2 copies of it. Yeah, I was pretty happy. I go this week back to Charleston, West Virginia. What do I find? Another one, a 3rd copy. That's an upgrade of the upgrade of my original. I got 3. And I wasn't going to pick it up. I thought, it's a better copy, and if not, Jeff Partey's going to hear about it. And he buys all the Weed and Fleece that are available in the market. He's cornering that market, so I thought I better grab that before he cans it. I can always give some away, but happy to get a better copy of this. One of my all-time favorite Van Morrison albums. And He's represented behind us today. Yay, Van. All right. Talking Heads, it was just an EP, Wild Wild Life. You know, it's later. Talking Heads obviously is from the movie. It's just a 12-inch single on there. I was getting a little upset with the Talking Heads back then. I didn't like the direction they were going. Obviously, they didn't like it either because they broke up. So, but I pick up, you know, it's like there's certain groups. The Cramps, I pick up their stuff. Talking Heads, I pick up the stuff because it's groups that mean a lot to me. All right. The next two I'm not going to talk a lot about because, well, I'm on vacation this week starting Wednesday. I always forget that I have vacation. I mean, I truly forget about vacation. I just forget to take it. And so I thought, oh man, you know what? I'm just going to take it. And I plan to read books and listen to music, and that is it. That is it. All right, I got to rake the yard and do other yard crap. But so I'm going to work on some different things as far as music related to do some needle drop albums. And there's been some videos people have asked about, could you do something on this? So I'm going to do some of that this week too and have them stacked up. But two of the albums I'm going to needle drop here is part of the African stuff I bought a couple weeks ago when I was in Pittsburgh. And one is Nagazi Family and Day of Judgment. And this also comes with a 12-inch single on there. Had a real nice book. Talks about Nagazi Family. Talks about Zamrock. So, you know, we talked about last week on here as I showed The Witch, which was Zamrock, you know, music from Zambia in the 70s. So it's, you know, the funk, rock, reggae. Here's another one. Really popular group on their wonderful album art too. So I will go into, I want to do some needle drops. It's hard to talk about this unless you hear it. And it's beautiful music, it's great music, it's rocking music. So we'll plan on doing that. And the other one was the Funkies. Now I know you're saying, hey, we're the Funkies. We keep on funking around. We're too busy being funky to put anybody down. Yeah, they had a theme song. Isn't that neat? I think that was the theme song. I'm pretty sure it was. These guys are from Nigeria. And again, it's 70s music out of Africa and out of Nigeria. So we got Zambia, we got Nigeria. Funk, rock, reggae, similar kind of things. Nice gatefold on here. But I do want to do some needle drops so you can hear some of this stuff. But it's really, it's outstanding music. I absolutely love the 70s African stuff. I need to get into more, and I appreciate the channels that have been really getting me into this, and I've been really digging it. Found this. This is a beautiful copy. Chicago, The Blues Today. They did 3 of these back, I believe, around 67. It was. And, you know, they looked at this one here, does the Junior Wells Chicago Blues Band, R. Hutto and the Hawks, and Otis Spann Southside Band. So on Junior Wells, Chicago's blues band, and Junior Wells, he was in his early 30s. He has a very young Buddy Guy playing on here, and then there's Jack Myers and Fred Below on also playing. So they do like 5 songs. Jay Hutto and the Hawks, he does 3 songs on here. And Hutto, he learned his playing from Elmore James, so he uses the slide on there. And you don't hear that as much in some of the Chicago blues. Again, he was in his early 30s. And the other guy, Otis Spann, he was Muddy Waters' piano player, but he has some songs on there, it's just piano and drum, and you can see them on here. Now, I've had volume 2. And so I was really happy all of a sudden to find volume 1. That was really great. And do I have it here? I recently, I think I left it up in my office. I was at a flea market, and I found Chicago Blues Today volumes 1, 2, and 3 on CD for $1, and so it was a great pickup. So this is a beautiful copy of this album. It's absolutely interesting blues, Vanguard. Super happy to pick it up, super clean. Found Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee. It's from a New Orleans concert. And by gum, I don't remember the date on it, and shame on me, but oh well, deal with it, right? Don't have to deal with it. Label on there. Folk music, you know, they really were part of, you think of Arlo Guthrie coming on, a lot of the early Pete Seeger. These guys came, you know, in the 40s they actually formed a jump blues band. Nobody really knows much about it. I don't think much was recorded of it. But then they began taking off with the folk explosion and toured all over the world. You know, a month or so ago I did talked quite a bit about Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry, and really how they, you know, at the end of their life they just hated each other because they'd been together like for 40 some years. So, you know, like any, well, I can't say any good, I guess they're not a good marriage, but you know, it happens. You get tired of each other, away you go. So nice. This was back in New Orleans, live music from those two. Hey, look at this, we're getting almost done here. Dave Brubeck, Bossa Nova USA. I just picked this up off Amazon. You know, one of their, you know, part of their jazz series. You can get some real inexpensive jazz albums, you know, off of Amazon, which is really nice. So this was produced, I believe, in '65. Bossa Nova was sweeping the U.S. So it was like the producer goes up and goes, "Hey, Dave, baby, man, you need a Bossa Nova album. Everybody's doing Bossa Nova." And Dave's like, "Well, I don't have any Bossa Nova." So they go, "Well, you got to make a Bossa Nova album." All right, he makes a Bossa Nova album. What does he do? He goes back and picks a lot of his songs. You know, for instance, the title track, Bossa Nova USA, it's a song he made back in 1955. Nothing to do with Bossa Nova, but Bossa Nova had that beat. It had that kind of, that rhythm to it. And, you know, a bachelor pad, you couldn't have a bachelor pad back in the 60s and not play Bossa Nova. It was the craze. It was just that Brazilian music that everyone was loving. I mean, I love Bossa Nova. And so he took these songs that he had already written, nothing to do with Bossa Nova, had the drummer put in more of a Bossa Nova beat to it, and away they went. It was a great listen. You know, it was just an easy album to listen to relax to. It didn't feel complex when you're listening to it. There's complex stuff going on there, obviously, but it isn't like, whoa, what were you playing? And though I am not a lover of the clarinet, sorry clarinet players, I just don't like, the thing squawks a lot. You know, I do like Paul Desmond. He does a nice job. He makes the clarinet sound beautiful, where many people were unable to do that. So Dave Brubeck's Bossa Nova album, because he is supposed to put out a Bossa Nova album because it was great and crazy, though none of the songs really are Bossa Nova, except by name only and by title. So he makes them have a Portuguese type sound to them, so you think it's Bossa Nova, but if that's your deal, be highly disappointed. But if you like good music, there it is. Weather Report Sweet Nighter. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I picked it up for 33 cents. I found a beautiful copy of it. A beautiful copy. I was so blown away by Weather Report's Sweet Nighter, and I saw this. I was ecstatic on finding that. So instead of 33 cents, I did pay 88 cents, and now I have another copy. And music for Dame Hunters. Look at that. All right, Cheesecake. I've been looking at this. It's been in West Virginia for a long time, been looking it over, and I picked it up. I think I'm going to send it out to somebody, but it was just a fun. It's a cheesecake. 1,000 strings, so you know it's just kind of the music that makes you go, you know, pretty much elevator music, but nice find. So that's what I picked up this, well, what I listened to. I actually picked up quite a bit of stuff when I was in Charleston. Went back a couple times. It's just a great record store, Elk City Records, that I like there, and he always has interesting things. I like talking with the man because he has that passion for music. We just sit back and chat quite a bit. So this week we're going to do some more videos. I'm going to send out some music. I have some stuff. I got a lot of stuff. Some extras, so I think I'm going to send that out to some folks, and some other people can enjoy some of this music on there. Thanks for tuning in. My contest, you still have a couple more weeks to do. We've done 3 weeks. I've had 35 entries so far, and the videos have been just so much fun, so enjoyable. That'll be one of my updates this week. We'll do a constant video update so you can make sure your name is registered and I didn't miss it. A lot of new subscribers, and I appreciate that. You know, welcome to my channel. This is the channel of the Editing Challenged. That is me. Maybe I'll work on editing this week and figure that out also, but maybe I won't. Still watch it, that's okay. So thank you for spending 20 minutes with me. Only 20, not 30. Getting good at this. Enjoying Endless Boogie, the Vibe Killer. Thank you very much, Andrew. Tales from the Crate, for turning me on to my favorite album of this year so far. So everyone have a wonderful Sunday. Good Monday for the youth in Australia. Dean, go to work. And appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.